Hello, and welcome to the Larrikin Book Review channel. I'm your host, Jamie Yaxko. Today's book, Hi, my name is Jamie Yaxko. I'm the Book Review podcast, Larrikin podcast. Carl Zimmer's the author. The book is She Has Her Mother's Ranch. It is a book about a daughter in dispute with her mother's ghost about the inheritance of said ranch. And in the process, we talk about genetics and heredity, and we redefine what it means to inherit something. Different than humans, a bird, when it learns something, it doesn't pass it on. If it eats something poisonous like a shiny butterfly, it learns in that moment, oh gosh, don't eat that shiny butterfly. Humans, there's been 100 billion of us that have been alive, and we are lucky to have inherit all this information or this cultural inheritance from all these people who lived before us, because we have language and we have the written word, and so we're lucky to have things passed down. We don't have to eat the butterfly to know, oh, don't do it. There's a story in the book about a flower called toadflax, and I'll show you two pictures of this genetically same flower, but they look different if you zoom in on their genes, because on top of those genes are little sticky carbons, and these carbons make reading those genetic code it's harder to do that. These codes are inaccessible. I gotta nail this, so I can only pour coffee on this thing once. There's a story that mirrors the daughter and the ghost in this book, where it talks about flowers instead of people. And these flowers, they're genetically identical. However, they have these sticky carbons on top of their genes that makes the genes unreadable. It's similar to if you had a book and you were to very accidentally pour coffee on it, and the letters don't change. However, they are now unreadable. Much like the book with the coffee stain, these flowers look very different. Pictured here. As you can see, the flower on the left looks normal and like a vagina, and the flower on the right looks like tapeworms spewing out of a phonograph, or like this next photo, a prolapsed anus. The point is, you can have this same genetic code but look very differently. And plants, since they develop their balls and their ovaries later on in life, they carry with it these methyl groups, these things that happened in previous generations. They carry them to the future, and they're writ large for our eyes to see. Humans are a little bit more complicated. When a girl human baby is born, it has all of the ovaries already there. So the methylization, these epigenetic changes, they're not as prominent. Some studies say that it could be pretty influential, like they had rats that were mothered pretty appropriately, where a mommy licked its baby the right amount, and that baby grew up to not be a dickhole rat. But then they had rats that they didn't get licked enough, and they were very skittish and anxious and nervous, because when a mom licks its baby, it releases serotonin, and serotonin will take off these methyl groups. These studies are very small. It's not conclusive. There's some that say that memories can be passed on to future generations of rats, but they're likely not true because of what I pointed out earlier, where the plants have a different biology. It's the epigenetic changes are writ large in plants, but not as prominent in humans. And that's all I have to say about She Has Her Mother's Laugh, aside from the word of the day. So all of that got deleted. Cool. Okay. So the word of the day is Caucasian. Caucasian meaning white-skinned folk, and coming from the word Caucasus Mountains, the mountains in West Asia, south of Russia, north of Turkey. And basically, this German anthropologist, he finds this beautiful skull in these mountains, and he was like, oh, this skull's so pretty, it's so perfect, gotta be a white person. And because God said that white people are the first creations, and everybody who came next to them are just degenerate forms of the first form, because it's in this mountains, gotta be a white person's skull. And so there you have it, this West Asian, North Turkish, South Russian skull is the reason why people who look like me are called Caucasian. Anyway, the book is called She Has Her Mother's Laugh by Carl Zimmer. I cannot recommend it enough. And if you have been, thanks for watching. Gucci. Doesn't matter. Please make your book shorter, like the last one. Parasite, Rex, Microcosm, any of them. Please, shorter. That's all.